Students in U.S. schools are sent home on heat days. On Wednesday, Gabrielle Wessels was browsing Facebook when she saw a message from the Orange County, New York school district where her kids go that Thursday and Friday will be early dismissals due to the intense heat. "We have been keeping an eye on the temperatures inside our buildings all day," the Minisink Valley Central School District posted. "We have found that temperatures stay uncomfortable even with the use of powerful fans to maintain airflow at all times." The intermediate and elementary schools had early dismissals. Claire, who is 6 years old and in kindergarten, and Hunter, who is 11 years old and in 5th grade, are Gabrielle's two children who attend the district's elementary school. "I believe it's imperative that they release the children," Ms. Wessels stated to BBC News. "I don't know how hot it gets in those classrooms, and if someone is heat sensitive or prone to heat stroke, they definitely should be letting them out." This week, heat days are giving students, like Claire and Hunter, unexpected days off from school due to the country's record-breaking temperatures. Extreme heat waves could bring highs of 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius, from the Northeast to the Midwest. This week, around 70 million people in the U.S. are under a heat alert. Due to the lack of air conditioning in many older school buildings, Worcester Public Schools in Massachusetts are starting their summer break early. As stated in a message sent by Superintendent Rachel Monarez to the school community, "We regret that we are ending the school year in an abrupt manner, but we want to ensure our students and staff are safe in what are predicted to be unusually hot temperatures. Since days when schools are in session are growing more frequent, lawmakers in New York passed legislation this month prohibiting pupils from entering classrooms when the temperature above 88 F 31.1 Celsius is. The plan, which would go into effect in 2025, has not yet been signed into law by Governor Kathy Hochul of New York. According to Ms. Wessels, the only areas of her children's Orange County school with air conditioning are the cafeteria and administrative offices. The 30-year-old cosmetologist, who now operates her own salon, sent her kids to the same school system. She claims she couldn't recall a moment when the heat caused school to be dismissed early. It extends outside the U.S. Due to heat waves that ravaged the region last month, courses for over 40 million pupils across Asia and North Africa were cancelled, according to Reuters. The United States has closed its schools due to excessive heat before, including this week. Last year, a lack of air conditioning caused schools in major cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, Chicago, and Detroit to close or release students early due to intense heat. According to Paul Chanowski, an emeritus professor of civil engineering at the University of Colorado Boulder, schools are typically 40 years old and were built during a period when many northern states were not subjected to the kind of intense heat that these regions experience now. For snow days, you are basically using the idea that it's too dangerous for people to try and get to the schools, he stated. But heat days people can get to the schools, it's a problem of what happens when they're there. A research Mr. Chanowski did in 2021 for the Center for Climate Integrity and the Business Resilient Analytics found that schools are canceling classes due to heat on average 6 to 7 days each year, as opposed to 3 to 4 days 10 years ago. According to Mr. Chanowski's research, instead of peaking in July when schools are not in session, extremely hot temperatures are occurring earlier and lasting longer, from May to early October. Which is why now you're seeing so many more school cancellations because the temperatures they've got they never anticipated, he stated. According to Mr. Chanowski, schools without air conditioning typically close early or discharge kids early. However, as temperatures rise, many schools, like the one where Ms. Wessels' kids attend, that just have window air conditioners or are only partially air-conditioned, are making adjustments to cope with the high temperatures. According to a 2020 U.S. Government Accountability Office report, 1/3 of public schools in the U.S., with 100,000 students in grades K through 12, require improvements to their air conditioning systems. According to Mr. Chanowski, significant federal cash will be needed to install air conditioning in schools without it. Because of security concerns, classrooms are no longer permitted to open windows or doors to cool off rooms, which limits their ability to respond to rising temperatures. The solution of "let's just create more airflow through the schools," that really is not practical anymore, he stated. For some, heat days are superfluous. In social media comments regarding the district's practice of dismissing pupils, parents drew attention to their own experiences as students, including enduring sweltering classrooms. School closures, according to Tiffany Justice, co-founder of the parental rights organization Moms for Liberty, harm pupils at a time when they are already short on in-person instruction as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. This idea that it's too hot for kids to go to school, or it's too cold for kids to go to school, just makes school seem not that important to kids, she stated. It seems like the people running schools will take any opportunity to close the school when they get a chance, she stated. This week's intense heat is being referred to by the National Weather Service as the season's first major heat wave. The majority of the U.S. is being affected, including the Northeast, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Mid-Atlantic areas. By the end of the week, the heat is expected to move from the Central US to the Midwest and then the Northeast. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, the UN's climate body, heat waves have increased in frequency and intensity worldwide since 1950. According to scientists, climate change is causing extreme weather to occur more frequently. Insufficient air conditioning systems at schools across Massachusetts and New York are causing kids to leave early or cancel classes completely.